I'm so excited today because I have one of my really good friends here, somebody I actually look up to in life, in business, and his story is so inspiring. But not only is his story really inspiring, what he's continuing to grow and do, he could just stop and say, I've made it, I'm good. But he just keeps building, keeps going. So, super excited to have you here today, Eric. And I'm sure your story is going to inspire everybody else, just like it has me. So, why don't you start from kind of the beginning? Because I know you before, you had the chain and like
Yeah, fresh out
all
of
the big
prison.
houses. Yeah. So, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about your story before, you got started in this business?
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name's Eric Crutchfield. Um, I build homes. I got a massive rental portfolio. I own a couple businesses. My story started, I guess you could say, after I got out of prison. Because before I went to prison, I was pretty crazy, acting nuts, fighting, clubbing, partying, no direction in life. I was driving 2011, got into a wreck. Somebody died. I got charged with manslaughter, got sentenced to 10 years in prison. I served 7.5. I got out in like early 2019. And that was when I changed my life in prison. And then I picked real estate as my path. So,
What do you think clicked for you? Because some people, their life is over after that. They feel like they don't have anywhere to go. So, like for you, obviously, that's a big deal. That's life changing what happened.
yeah,
So, what made you change your life completely for the opposite and for the better? Like while you're in prison, I know you talk about you change your mindset first and foremost. So, like,
definitely.
what made you do that? How did you get there?
Well, I was in prison the first 2 years and I was still thinking criminally. Like, I was coming up with business plans to like steal motorcycles and make millions of dollars and swap out frames. And I mean, you're in there with a bunch of convicts and criminals, so we all think the same. Just how do you make money? And it's always an illegal route. But I was at one unit, really bad unit in Texas called Mineral Wells, and they put us on lockdown for fighting or drugs, I can't remember. And so they let us go to the library. Well, I never read a book in my entire life before this point, but I knew I was about to be on lockdown for a while. And when you're on lockdown, you can't do anything. You can't get up off your bunk. You can't really do shit. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna pick out a book. So there's a personal development section, went to it, picked out a book. It was called Awaken the Giant.
Love that.
It's
Anthony
by,
Robbins.
yes. I didn't know who he was, but so I read that book during lockdown, and that book like changed my life seriously and just opened up all kinds of thoughts and purpose. And from that point forward, like I never thought about criminal behavior again. I don't know why, but it was just enlightened me and it opened me. I don't know, but it was really surreal for me. So
And crazy looking at your path now, you're doing that for so many people. So the fact that like Anthony's purpose is to motivate people to get to that path in life, and that switch happened, and now you're doing that for so many people is actually really incredible because
yeah,
that doesn't usually happen. But I also feel like somebody like you with your story is so relatable because a lot of people feel like they're in a situation where it's like, I don't, I can't be successful.
yeah,
Look at where I'm at. You know what I mean? It's like the people, oh, they've already done that. They're successful. Like I can't. So your story is so relatable, like where you came from and the amount of time, because you're talking about you got out of prison and within how many years, like what was that? What did that look like after you got out of prison? So you kind of changed your mindset in prison and then you got out and then what happened?
yeah. I changed my mindset in prison, and then I got another book by Anthony Robbins called The Power Within, or Unlimited Power. Read it, and then I just started consuming like all business books and real estate books from that point forward. So I chose my path as real estate. So I knew I was going to do real estate when I got out. So then fast forward to I get out of prison. Now I have a lot of book knowledge on real estate, but I don't have any practical knowledge. So I'm like, how can I get this practical knowledge? So I wanted to flip a home, start small. That's why I teach all my students, start small and learn. Don't get caught up in the profits. It's all about like learning first. After you learn, then you can scale, and that's when the money comes. So that's what I did. I started small. I started with a flip. One of my friends kind of held my hand throughout the process. This is maybe like 3-4 months out of prison. So I ended up making $53,000 on that first flip. So I learned a lot during this period of time. It was only like, 3-4 months that it took to flip this home. But, I learned about the trades like sheetrock, tile, how much to pay for labor, negotiations with everybody, like the things you can do. I had to move like the HVAC system, and I learned a lot. So
You're there
I
every day.
I was there every day learning. Plus I had a job, so I would be back and forth. I was working logistics because I was on parole, so I had to have a job, and I was doing this as my side hustle basically. So yeah, learned a ton on that first deal, sold it, made $53,000, bought another home to flip. Well, that home actually turned into a new construction home. So it was just, the whole street was building 4-story townhomes, really dope modern townhomes, and I had this little crack house. I was gonna put $75,000 into it, and it was still gonna look like a 1-story. It was just gonna look out of the ordinary. I had to build or I had to sell that lot. There was no flipping this home. So I ended up building it. A lot of challenges along the way, but I got through it. Ended up making like $500,000 on, I ended up buying 3 of them and building 3 duplexes there. And I made like $500,000 on that one. And that kind of got me like really going. And I just dumped all that money back into growing my business and scaling and buying more land. And that's how I got to where I am today.
There's so many I think nuggets in what you're saying. The
Yeah.
first thing that you said was that you went all in on real estate. So I hear a lot of people talk about having like all these multiple sources of income, but I genuinely feel like until you have one source that is providing for you, if you
Yeah.
don't focus, it's too hard to scatter your energy. Like,
Exactly.
do you feel like that played a role
Yeah,
in your success?
I think that you have to create one cash cow first. You have to get money from somewhere. And then once you start getting money and maybe you have the systems and the employees in place, then you can start, investing that money elsewhere. And that's how you get added income, extra income streams. But yeah, it was all real estate. And majority of all my income comes from developing homes right now. I mean, it blows away anything.
Because when I knew you, obviously I still know you, but in the beginning, you were obsessed.
Yeah.
So it was like everything was about real estate, learning, investing. How can I build more? How can I do more? It was all in. If you knew Eric, you knew he was working on real estate. Like that's what he was doing.
And it's still like
and I feel like that's why you're so successful.
Yeah, definitely. I think people need to focus on one thing and make that great and make money in it before they branch off. I know even my friends, some of my friends are scatterbrained all over the place. They want to do this, do that, this, and then, it's all just mediocre stuff. Nothing super successful.
Definitely.
So, what's that saying? Whenever you chase like multiple cats, you can't catch. You
can't herd cats.
You can't catch them or something.
Yes, exactly.
What's that saying?
I don't know the exact. I know.
The man that chases 2 rabbits catches none.
Yeah, the man that chases
Yes.
2 rabbits catches none.
Yes.
I haven't heard that one, but
So go after
yes,
one
that's a
rabbit
good
and
one.
catch that one rabbit.
Well, as jumping into real estate, like I'm sure a lot of people's biggest question is, I hear a lot of people talking about getting in by starting by doing a flip first. So knowing what you know now, what are some of the things that you look for in a good potential home to flip?
Well, I don't really flip too many homes now. I do mainly all new construction development from the ground up.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I teach also. I would say start flipping just to learn. Don't really pay attention too much to the money. And flipping is way more difficult than building a house from the ground up.
Okay.
You can systematize ground up. You know what to expect. You know this checklist, the steps. Flipping, there's no telling what can happen. You open up this wall and next thing you know, you got to change the whole entire plumbing. You got a tunnel under the house. It's a mess. So I always teach people, if you're going to flip, just flip to learn, but get into new construction as early as you can because the profits are way bigger also.
Yeah.
So.
And doing new construction, are you purchasing typically lots that had a home on them previously, or are you looking for kind of completely new neighborhood that you can develop?
I've done it both ways. I bought lots, and also the majority of my homes have houses on them,
Yeah.
and then I bulldoze them and put a nicer home there.
Gotcha.
It's a lot easier to do that.
Yeah, it makes sense. You're not worrying about like what you're going to need to repair, what you're not, because you know you're just going to scrap it and put brand new everything that works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you started that time period where you made 53,000, then you randomly, it wasn't like on purpose, but had to do the new build and decided like,
Yeah.
okay, this is actually where it's at.
Happy
You
accident.
didn't have your own money to invest in, so you figured out how to leverage
Yeah.
other people's money and banks and stuff like that. Like, one thing about you that I really notice is that your mindset is like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get stuck with like, oh, well, I don't have the money, so I just can't do it, or I don't know about real estate, so I'm too scared to go in, or whatever the business may be. But your mindset, and a lot of people I know that are successful, is like, I'm just gonna figure it out how to make it work. So like, how did that transpire? Because you just got out of prison, you were working another job. Like, how did you
Yeah.
How did you make that happen?
I have really strong belief in myself. You know, I know that I can do anything I put my mind to. So, you know, if I want to, you know, make millions of dollars in development, first I need to break it down, reverse engineer it, and be like, okay, how am I going to do this? Well, maybe I don't know lending, I don't know this. Well, how can I get that? Because no lenders were lending to me. Nobody's going to lend to me. I'm a 2-time convicted felon with $0, nothing on my credit because I was gone over 7 years, so everything fell off. So it's like, okay, well, how am I going to do it? Well, maybe I need to partner with somebody that has those relationships. So let me partner with somebody first so I can kind of ride the coattails in there until I build enough relationship with that lender to where he'll lend to me. So on that first construction deal, I partnered with somebody, one of my really good friends, same guy that helped me flip that house. And then the bank actually found out I got out of prison and denied me and wouldn't give me the construction loan. It's funny because that same bank, I was like the #1 builder 2 years later with.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Success is the best revenge.
Yeah.
It really is.
That bank, I still have loans with that bank right now, but yeah, so they denied me, and then I built the relationship later, and they saw what I was doing, and then, you know, once I had some successful projects, I leveraged that, like, hey, I have this is what I built, and now they loaned to me. So then once I got that first one, I got that second one, I got the third one, and then
Yeah.
I finished those, and then I scaled up, and then I got a bunch of loans with them. So yeah, I always think like, how can I do it, you know?
And once you kind of found that new construction was the niche that you wanted to go into, you kind of, again, pattern, right? You went all in
Yeah.
on that, and you were like, I'm not going to flip anymore. I'm going all in here.
Right.
So then I feel like that's when it started growing for you, like so fast. I mean, I blinked my eyes and you had like a million homes, like
Yeah,
new home builds.
seriously.
I was like, see Eric Crutchfield everywhere, homes like for sale.
Yeah.
And not just like any new homes, like
Oh, $1 million homes.
yeah, like pretty amazing homes. So like how did that transpire? So you did your first new home, and then what happened after that?
So I did that first 4-story townhome, and then I ended up buying the lot next to me and then the lot next to me. So I did those 6 units. And then I still partnered with that same partner, and we went into single family, and then we went into commercial. We built a 5-unit. The 5-unit was kind of a headache, so I didn't really want to get more involved in that. But the single families seemed like they were more turnkey. You know, I didn't need to be there on site as much, even though I was learning everything. But I could tell like it's a lot easier to build these single families. And I just liked them. You know, I'm fresh out of prison. Like I was drawn to the contemporary modern look. So that's kind of, if you see all my homes that I used to build, that's the style it was, because that's what I liked.
Yeah.
Even though those aren't the best homes to build in Texas, because the buyer pool shrinks, because I guess they don't really, you know, have the same aesthetic as I
That's
do.
good style, right?
Yeah,
More traditional.
They'll learn. They'll
Yeah,
catch
yeah.
up. They'll catch up.
One day they're gonna catch up. But anyway, so yeah,
Just kind of kept rolling after
yeah.
that. Like
I just kept it
all
rolling.
in.
I did those 3 with him, and then I went off on my own, and then I got like 35 more and started building those. And yeah, my style is starting to change a little bit, but
And before we go too much further into the story, I think another thing to highlight that you've done that I've taken notice to is that you kind of put stuff out there before it happens for you. Like you do that a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'll see him post like yachts, like I'm gonna have this, like
Yeah.
homes, I'm gonna build this one, like, and then you'll see
tracks it.
years later it will happen. Like it really does happen. So like for you, do you feel like that's also played a part? Like
Yeah,
in
manifestation
what you've accomplished?
is real for sure. Visualization, manifestation, like those books that I used to read, like they talk about it. Law of attraction, The Secret, all that. I've read all that shit. I mean, I've read a ton of stuff like on personal development and business, but yeah, so I believe it 100%. And even in prison, like I would have photo books, and then so I had magazine subscriptions to Forbes, Fortune, Robb Report, like all the magazines. So I had this photo book, and it was just filled. It was a vision board inside of it, and I would just cut out like yachts and houses and cars, and so I still have it to this day. But
And when you look at it now,
yeah,
is it weird
it's
to
like
look
my
at?
life.
'Cause you're like,
Now it's like
I'm
I have
living
all
that?
that stuff now, but I haven't got the yacht yet, but it's coming. I just went to the Palm Beach boat show like 3 weeks ago, so
You did?
I got some more motivation. Plus, I like to consume it, and like you said, it's
Yeah,
because it's coming.
exactly.
I know
Focus, energy, and then putting it out there, and then doing the work. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people forget that part, but you
Yeah.
you did that.
The
You're
work's
still
gonna
doing
get
it.
done. I'm gonna continue to always
Yeah.
work, so that's the easy part for me. I like to hustle. So.
And now what's crazy is that, I mean, it hasn't even been, when did you get out of prison? How
I've been
many
out
years?
5 years.
5 years. So in 5 years, now you have every person that I know in Dallas being like, hey, can you teach me what you know? What are you doing? What's
Yeah.
happening? And so that's turned into you creating a course to actually show people exactly what you did.
Yeah, and the course kind of just came about on its own because, like you said, people are just constantly asking me, like, hey, what do you do? What did you, how'd you get that McLaren? How'd you get that Lamborghini? How do you live in this big ass house? Like, weren't you just in prison? What the fuck?
Yeah.
How did you do this? And I was just like, fuck, let me just create a course or class to teach all y'all at once, right? And so that's what I did. And I was like, I put it out there in January and it sold out. I was like, well, shit, this was easy.
Do another one. Did another one, sold out. And
Yeah,
another one
and they all
out.
sold out. So, I mean, and I enjoy it. It's like actually more fulfilling than building a home. I mean, building a home's cool because like it's in your head at first and then you actually build it and it's like, damn,
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool process. But I like the fulfillment I get from teaching and like actually turning these people onto more knowledge and into the next millionaire, So I think it's really
I also
cool.
think if you don't know how to do something, you have to have a mentor if you want to get there faster. It's going to save you money and time.
Exactly.
If you don't have that, like I tell Joe this all the time. I'm like, I just want to tell me the mistakes so I don't do them, so I can just do what works.
Yeah.
Right? Like it just seems easy. A lot of people, I think, miss that part of it. But if you do have somebody, like you said, I got out of prison, I found somebody that was doing what I wanted to do, I copied it,
Yeah.
and then he became successful.
So now I'm about to get into commercial, probably commercial development or value add, reposition, some stuff like that. But most likely I'm going to find somebody to partner with that is a beast doing that already right now. And then I'll just soak it up and scale it out on my own later. So, I mean, it's definitely the fast track to success, finding a mentor.
And you mentioned your course, we've talked about a lot of different things today that have made you successful, but your course is mostly going to be the meat and potatoes and the exact how-to of how you really made money in real estate, right?
Yeah, so the course is basically my blueprint that took me from prison to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made the majority of my money in new construction development, building multi-billion-dollar homes for 6 to 7 figure profits.
Wow.
So that's what I teach in the course.
That is so needed. So needed.
Yeah, because it's not out there. I mean, I've searched, and even back then when I got out, I'm looking for, a mentor or something, and I couldn't find it. So even today, I still search, and there's a couple guys, but nobody's teaching how to build multi-million-dollar homes for 6 to 7 figure profits each home.
I've even looked.
Nobody's doing it.
I've looked wanted to learn more about real estate because I love to, in my free time, read and whatnot. I figure why not learn something useful. But most of the courses out there are, first you have to get through 17 chapters of fluff
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get to the how-to. So, I mean, if I could find a course like yours where I can really just get straight to it,
Yeah.
I'd love that.
I teach it from A to Z, and it's, you know, it's for beginners, or it's also for flippers and wholesalers that have been flipping 20, 30, 40 homes a year.
Yeah.
I mean, to looking to merge into new construction. So, and I'm help them. I'm there with you. Join my community. Like, I'm always messaging on my phone, helping the people, sending them lenders, contractors, whatever they need, you know. So
So if somebody's never done real estate ever, they don't know anything, is that something that they could actually go to do
Yeah.
your course and start from ground zero?
yeah, I break it down from when I'm just got out of prison, so I didn't know shit about it besides some stuff I read, you know. But in prison, I didn't have much to read, right?
Yeah.
Out here, you guys got podcasts, you got YouTube, you got internet, you got, I mean, there's multiple ways you can learn before. And then I would say, yeah, come to my master class and I'm going to teach you, like, I'm going to break it down to ground level.
So knowing what you know now, like 5 years later, how would you direct your path? Would you do anything differently?
So I actually just got asked the same question, and I'm gonna give the same answer. I mean, I feel like I just did this 5 years ago, right? And I got pretty far in 5 years, so I don't know if I would change much about what I did. So that's why I want to teach my exact path, because I've accomplished so much in 5 years. I mean, I think it's a pretty good
Yeah.
route.
Yeah. Even if you look at the things you might have done like wrong, if you didn't make that mistake, you wouldn't have that knowledge now.
Exactly.
So,
You still need, you
Yeah.
got to get in there and bust your head a little bit so you can learn that lesson.
Right.
But that's going to happen in anything, you know. I can teach you everything, but there's still things that pop up. I mean, I still learn each and every day. So,
it's one thing to learn it because you read it. It's another to make that mistake and live through that. Oh shit, you know.
yeah, it's like, don't leave your house until all the lights are green.
Yeah.
You know, that's impossible. Like,
Yeah.
But you still leave your house
Yeah.
to go wherever you're going.
Yeah.
But you're going to stop at that red light sometimes. You're going
Nice.
to stop at that stop sign.
Somebody told me that business is not like get rich quick, but it is get rich guaranteed if you stick it out long enough and you
Exactly.
go through those growing pains. And it's so true.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. People don't want to stick to it, though.
It gets a little
face,
hard.
yeah, they face a little bit of, you know, headwind, and they're like, nah, fuck this, I don't want to do this.
So if somebody wants to take your course, how do they do that?
You can go on my Instagram, EricEpic23, and there's a link in the bio. It'll take you right to it.
Okay.
It's called the Builder Accelerator.
And it teaches you from day one, never done real estate, or if you have, exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Exactly what Eric did in 5 years to be where you're at.
Or you can come to my master class where I have credit funding guys teaching up there. How, if you don't have any money at all, no down payment, he's going to help you get up to $250,000 off of credit lines. Take it off the credit lines, put it in your bank, and then you're going to leverage it with the other lady I have speaking, which is a hard money lender, and use that money that you just took off those cards as a down payment to leverage for the construction loan. So you can get into this with $0 out of your pocket. And that's
Wow.
kind of what I've fabricated and teach at my master classes. So
Just like you said, if you put in the work, it's almost guaranteed
I'm-
success. You
I
don't
mean,
even have to
I'm
have
trying.
the investment. Yeah.
I'm trying to give it to everybody, like, on a platter, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think it's pretty awesome what you're doing, and I feel the same way as you. Like, obviously, I've been in the restaurant business for a long time and had other businesses, but teaching somebody else and watching them be successful is so much more rewarding. It is a
Yeah,
weird feeling that
it
it's
is.
like I get so involved in like making sure they're a success, and it feels bigger
right.
than when I'm sure like your students,
And I
you
would
see them
n-
make money.
I never thought I would be teaching people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even care to teach, really. I used to think, I'm like, I don't want to teach nobody. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to build and make money. That's it. But now it's like so fulfilling, and people keep asking me, and I'm like, it's changed my life. Like, for real. This is my reality. Like, from prison with no money to where I'm at today. It's ridiculous. Like, I have to share this story.
Yeah.
I can't just hide it from people. So here we are.
That's awesome. I mean, I get inspired by you every day. We've been talking about real estate for so
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
And see, I haven't even dove in yet, and I should have, because like,
Yep.
look what you've done 5 years later.
You should have came
right?
with me.
I know. The restaurant business, is good, but Real estate's done a lot better for you. But I think it's awesome, kind of the path that it's taken you unknowingly.
Yeah.
Like you said, you started with that book, started with mindset, then with focus, putting in the work, and then just like having that attitude of figuring it out. And now you're at the place where in 5 years you can literally teach somebody how to make millions of dollars with no money, just hard work and focus.
That's it. You gotta stick to it. Building a home, takes around a year to do, so.
And I'm sure there's probably not a smooth path that whole year, right?
No.
Probably
You're going to deal with
some stuff that comes
contractors.
up.
Contractors like to go out on Sundays and watch the Cowboys game and not show up to work on Mondays, so you got to be ready for that. I teach all that in the class also.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's frustrations in everything. I mean, I don't care what you do. There's frustrations in any business. Doesn't matter. Same thing in new construction.
Absolutely. And then it just comes down to mindset again.
Yeah.
It's like, are you mentally strong enough to like push through and know what your vision is at the end of this?
Exactly. Do you believe in yourself enough to make it to the end?
Definitely.
Well, what are some things you've got on the vision board for the next 5 years?
So the next 5 years, right now I build from my cheapest house is like 1.3 million to 3.2 million. So I won't be building any more of those. The only homes I'm building now are 5 million and up. So my cheapest home will be $5 million. So that's kind of where I'm going. And then also on the vision board, I want to build my first commercial deal. Like I was saying, either with a partner that's going to teach me, because I don't want to do it on my own, but I could, but it's going to take me longer. I'm looking to fast track. And then I'll probably morph over from residential to commercial and scale up commercial really big, just like I did in residential.
And so when you say commercial, you mean building office buildings?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm leaning more towards flex space right now.
Okay.
So, or multifamily.
Yeah.
So I have a 16 unit right now that I'm redoing, but yeah, I want to get more into the commercial side. Bigger numbers, bigger profits, So, and then also, like she said, the yacht's coming. Be on the lookout for that because it's coming.
Nice. Well, in the course, I'm sure that's something that you're going to continue to put a lot of effort into, and as you begin to do bigger and bigger things in your business, I'm sure we can expect to get a master class on how you succeeded at that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to continue working on the course, working to help people, teach people, turn people into millionaires, just like I did myself. It's not going to stop. So, and my story's not over either. We're here right now, but you interviewed me in 5 more years, there's going to be a lot more changes.
We will. I'm
I
sure
love
we'll
that.
circle back.
I feel the same. And I know,
Yeah.
Joe, you probably do about yourself too, right? Eric, what would you say is your top 3 fundamentals of being successful just in general in life? If you could tell anybody, these are the 3 things you need and that guaranteed my success. If I didn't have these things, I wouldn't be here. What would you say those things are?
I definitely would say, like we talked about, mindset and believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. And then you can't give up. You got to have some sort of grit and tenacity inside you to weather the storm, because the storms are coming, But you just got to shake it off and keep it moving and keep progressing, moving forward like a shark,
Yeah.
never fucking stopping or going backwards. Those 2 things. And then constantly learning. That's what a lot of people stop. I think they stop to learn. I'm always looking for growth. I have a growth mindset where I want to grow. I could master residential building, but okay, now I want to do commercial building. And then maybe I'm on the skyscrapers and building some crazy shit. I don't know, but I'm not going to stop growing. I'm going to continue to grow each and every day. And I think that's going to be, if you have those 3 traits, it's going to be a hard man to stop, or woman.
Thank you. Definitely. Joe, I think that's pretty awesome motivation story. I don't really know if there's anything else besides leaving it there, because to me, that's everything I really believe to my core. If you aren't growing, you aren't going to succeed, because the world is going to keep growing. People are going to keep passing you by.
Yeah.
So if you don't do that, you're actually going backwards.
Right.
People don't think about it that way, but if you're standing still, you're actually going backwards.
Exactly.
And having other people around you that are motivating you, having a mentor, having somebody hold you
Extremely
accountable to
important.
those things, you know, that's why I think what you're doing is really awesome, even though maybe you didn't see yourself doing that. But
Yeah.
it's because people need to be around other people that are successful and they have a vision for where they could be. Like, okay, you did these things, I can do those things. Like,
Yeah.
I just need to figure out how you did it. Okay,
If
great,
I can
now
do
I
it,
got to go apply.
and I always say it, you know, if I can do it, you can fucking do it. 2-time convicted felon, no education. I didn't have no money, no credit, no nothing. Like tattoos, you know.
Everything against you.
I mean, yeah. I try to make the perfect example of like, okay, who would everybody hate to do business with? And then I created that person, and then I went out there and I fucking proved to everybody I could do it. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Wow. Well, Eric, I've learned a ton. It's been awesome having you on the show. And if people want to get in touch with you, want to connect with you, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Instagram, definitely, Eric Epic 23. I have TikTok too. YouTube's coming.
And it's Eric with a C, not a K.
Yep.
Right?
ERICEPIC 23.
Awesome.
That's me.
All right. Well, Eric, thanks again. Really
Hey,
appreciate
thanks for
you
having me,
coming on
man.
today.
That was awesome. It's a pleasure.
Eric, always
Yeah,
excited to
good
have
to see you.
Thank you again for inspiring me and everybody else. I'm sure your story is going to reach a lot of people. So great
I
to
hope
have
so.
you.